Today's NFL Mailbag made possible by Magic Spoon. Get $5 off your first order at magicspoon.com/chat. It is the best tasting, healthy cereal out there on the market. We'll tell you more about them in a little bit. From future NFL Legend 10, Super Bowl predictions. I'll go coward stuff here. I'll go Chiefs, and I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers revenge tour. How about that? For one more year. I'll go, Chiefs get back and win, because of course they do. From Juan Hernandez, Derek Carr for MVP dark horse. What you think? If we are including only true dark horses, I got no problem putting Derek Carr in that list, frankly. I mean, I'd be surprised if that's what a dark horse is, right? Like, Kyler Murray's not a dark horse pick, I don't think, at this point. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, those guys aren't dark horse picks. Those are favorites. So, as a true sleeper dark horse, the Raiders make the playoffs, Derek Carr is going to get that buzz. I say yes. Unknown Ethan, Saints free agent targets. Receiver or corner, right? I think you got to look at those two directions. I think Richard Sherman made sense before his off-the-field stuff. That might be a red flag there. There are some aging receivers. My suspicion for the Saints right now, they're going to wait to roster cut down time and see what the market looks like of guys cut or guys who could be cut that they go trade for at that point. From Jebby Slick, do you think Justin Fields will start the beginning of the season or after the bye week? I don't think he's the week one starter. But it is only a matter of time before the Bears give Justin Fields the reins. And maybe at some level, it's smart to let him wait a little bit, because if I'm being honest here, that Bears offensive line, the tackles at least, red flags left and right. I mean, you draft Tevin Jenkins, I'm like, yes, you cut Massey, you need a right tackle, perfect. Then you cut Charles Leno, which I found kind of weird. Now Jenkins is going to miss at least most of the season, so it's Jason Peters and a stiff at right tackle. Maybe you want to make sure Fields is healthy and give him plenty of time for the offensive line to gel before you throw him in at that point. C. Garcia 54, your top running backs for a PPR league. Look at this a little fantasy question here. Okay, I like it. I do worry about Christian McCaffrey's injuries. That is a bit of a red flag for me, but I'm still going to put him in there at number 1 for PPR. I think Alvin Kamara is up there at number 2 for me. For PPR, that brings down the value of a Derrick Henry, especially of a Nick Chubb, because he doesn't catch that many passes. Is Saquon healthy? Well, I don't know. Maybe that's a bit of an issue there. I think Dalvin Cook then ends up becoming my number 3. So those are my big 3. McCaffrey, Kamara, Cook. Heath Christensen, could the Browns trade OBJ mid-season? Always got an OBJ trade question. No is my answer. I would be very, very surprised, even way more so than the first time around, if OBJ gets dealt. The Browns are trying to win football games. OBJ helps them do that. And now if he is a locker room cancer this year, which again, I don't think he's going to be, but if that's the path, okay, maybe next year. I don't think OBJ gets dealt this year. The Browns need him at receiver. But, we're a show for the people, so what do you guys think? What is the percent chance that you think Odell Beckham Jr. gets traded this year? Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. From DeLunatic, will Quinn be in the booth or on the sideline for games? He's going to be up in the booth. He likes the view that it gives him, the full field view. I don't have a huge preference one way or the other. Whatever I think the coaches and players can agree with makes the most sense. But that makes the most. I think that's the route there. From Vandy, the way it was put, it seems like the FBI is investigating Buzbee, not Watson. Can you explain a little more, please? So that is, to simple it down here, and maybe we'll go to the player card here too, and maybe the quote. That is the spin from Watson's attorney. Now, in the end, because the FBI hasn't said anything, it's spin from both sides, right? You've got Buzbee and saying to Amy Dash and CBS Sports that, hey, the FBI has met with us a couple times. They're investigating Deshaun Watson. We've got these quotes. Now that Harden's spin is that, oh no, they're investigating him. So here are Harden's quotes. I think this is the best way to approach it. When he was contacted by Amy Dash about the FBI investigation into Watson, here's what Harden said. I have absolutely no reason to believe Deshaun is being investigated by the FBI. I think that is Mr. Buzbee's spin. The truth, whether it's any more accurate than any of the other misstatements he has sponsored. I do not believe the FBI is investigating Deshaun. Now, 5 days after he made those quotes, he said this. I don't think they're investigating Deshaun. What they're investigating is the allegations Buzbee made in his lawsuits, which, by the way, is an investigation into Deshaun Watson. Like, that is what that is. The allegations Buzbee made were about Deshaun Watson. Come on. I don't know about that until yesterday. I figured out it's true. They are. So there's a difference there. There is a difference in what Harden had said. Now, I know that everyone wants immediate gratification and information. Harden said that, in April he talked to the FBI about a potential, what's the word I'm looking for? Not embezzlement. Blackmail is the term for it. Into Watson and the allegations. Extortion. Thank you, Producer Jack. But that's different than where we're at now. This is an FBI investigation into Deshaun Watson. The end result might be Deshaun's innocent. And if so, okay. Investigation might be charges for Deshaun Watson. If so, okay. I know we all want instant knowledge. That's not how this is going to take. This is going to be a very long and frankly drawn out process. Now, today's show is made possible by Magic Spoon. I got my box right here. Look, it's the same one. It's cute. Magic Spoon is a very unique cereal. It tastes like the sugary stuff we grew up with, but it's actually healthy and good for us. 13 grams of protein, 5 grams of net carbs, 0 sugar. If you didn't know there was 0 sugar in this, you'd be like, come on, Tom, there's a ton of sugar in there, because that's how it tastes. But it does not have any sugar, and it is fantastic. So you get $5 off your first order of Magic Spoon, whether it's a box or, hell, maybe 4. MagicSpoon.com/chat. The link, by the way, clickable, will be in the comment section and in the description. CJ DeYoung III. Hey, Tom, what happened to Jaylon Smith? He was awesome first couple seasons. Now, man, what changed? Hope vacation was fun. Thanks for the remote vids. You're welcome. Vacation in Cabo was a blast. Pulled a Zeke and had some fun with it. The number one concern for Jaylon is that, I think teams figured him out a little bit. After 2018, 2019 was not as good, and 2020 was pretty damn bad. I am concerned, and this is pure speculation on my part, right after Smith signed the extension in 2019, he tweaked his knee, and then he missed a day of practice, and that was it. I just wonder if that little minor tweak maybe took just a little bit more out of him than the Cowboys ever wanted to admit. I don't know. That's a pretty big guess, maybe even a reach on my part. But Smith doesn't move the same way he did. So either he's lost a step because the knee is just older than he actually is, or maybe he hasn't trained quite the same way, or whatever. He just doesn't have the same step. It's gotten worse. This year, he still looks slow out there. So in the end, I don't really know. A lot of different answers there. Maybe one day we'll figure out. He's just not the same guy anymore, though, and it's pretty damn disappointing. Unknown Ethan, most crazy, unrealistic trade scenario. Patrick Mahomes gets dealt to insert team here for every first-round pick and second-round pick for the next 10 years. The Chiefs still say no, by the way, to that trade, even if it's every pick for the next 10 years. But that's like the most unrealistic one is going to be around Patrick Mahomes. From Denver Fan 4 with some dad shoes up there. Should Denver cut or trade Royce Freeman? I mean, step one is always try to trade somebody. You say, hey, does anyone want this guy? We're going to cut him. We'll take something back cheap. Like, do you guys want him? Other teams have interest too. What do you want? Blah, blah, blah. You work the phones and the market to get something back for a guy that you were planning on cutting. I think a Royce Freeman trade could make some sense. I'm looking at the LA Rams and maybe even the Miami Dolphins. Now, Melvin Gordon Javonte Williams, and I think Mike Boone are ahead of Freeman. And if that's the case, if they're all healthy, and with Levante Bellamy offering some return value, you don't need Royce Freeman at that point. So I would not be surprised if he ends up on the move before the season begins. Now, if you're a GM, all right, you're running your favorite NFL team, and keep it realistic, please, I beg of you, but I want you guys to name a player who you want your team to trade for. Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Jeb, the biggest trade that could happen in the 2021 season. Realistic ones, I think it's maybe someone like a Stephon Gilmore. Like, a scenario here is if the Patriots don't pay Gilmore, and they're not good or not good enough in the regular season, they could trade him before the deadline. So that might be a bit of a stretch, but I do think that could be an option for biggest trade. Now, if you guys want daily videos like these mailbags, the only way to get them is to subscribe, and they are free. It's that simple. All you have to do is hit that big red button. That way you don't miss out on anything we got for you guys here at Chat Sports. From Greg Barker, thoughts on the Bears picking up Jason Peters. Look, Peters is no longer in his prime. There is some familiarity there with the coaching staff, so I get it. I think what really makes the most sense is he's a stopgap. It's as good as they could have done. Frankly, I made this point clear at the time. I thought cutting Leno was a mistake, and I think that's very clear right now. Slim Kid 7, should the Rams sign a running back? I mean, the guys out there are kind of washed. Todd Gurley, Lev Bell. Honestly, I might look at the trade or cut market. There might be somebody who makes some sense as a backup to Darrell Henderson at that point. From Child Please 99, if the Titans offer the Dolphins a second-round pick for Mike Gesicki, would you make the trade? So two notes here I guess I would make is that, A, I think Mike Gesicki's a damn good football player, so I don't want to trade him in general. I would rather pay him. Now, if you decide you aren't going to pay him, which, again, I think would be a mistake, but you drafted a third-round tight end this year too, so maybe it's in their cards. I don't know. I would consider, because that's a great return, given that you had several years of Gesicki, and he got basically what you took him with. So I would consider it. But you're a contender. So if you are good, he helps you win right now. So I lean no, but if you're not going to pay him and or you're not good right now, actually does make some sense for a team, but I don't think Miami's in that situation. Now, we're not far removed from everyone thinking the Dolphins are going to be the worst NFL team, and they ended up not being. That was the Joe Burrow tank year, which was supposed to be for Tua, who the Dolphins ended up getting anyway. But for this year, who do you think will be the worst NFL team? Get your votes in the comment section right now. Bandy says Watson to the Broncos. Possible. If Watson gets traded, I don't know who. I don't know when. Denver, I think, would be among the teams up there, of course. I think he has to be cleared off the field. I don't know how you can trade for a guy with all of that misconduct and allegations against him. He's kind of untouchable right now. Robert Bruce, hey Tom, hey Jack, with Hunter and Henry already injured, would you give Tim Tebow a try with the Patriots? Hell no. Guys, Tim Tebow the person, great guy. Tim Tebow the college quarterback, awesome. Tim Tebow the NFL quarterback, really bad. Tim Tebow the NFL tight end, garbage. He sucked, I'm sorry. He wasn't good. They cut him for a reason. No other team would have ever signed him. There's no reason with where Tebow is as an NFL player to give him a chance. There are better tight ends out there, I promise you, my friend.